You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to the 222nd episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. This is your 2018 Shawamigan Showdown winner, Tim Super Rookie Hayes in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, this is Matt, your 2018 Shawamigan second place silver medal finisher, Matt Allen, sleepy in Minneapolis.
And this is Spencer in Boston, where I have no Shawamigan accolades, unfortunately. Or maybe I have all of them. It's hard to say.
You got on the podium.
Hey guys, hate to break it up here, but our long international nightmare is over. We no longer have to worry about a navy blue or a light blue short on the world champion kit. Thank God, because Valbearde has the all black shorts and it looks dope.
It does look good. I was hoping for a full body rainbow personally, though.
like the vertical rainbow?
Yeah, I was thinking they would somehow integrate the Movistar blue into that rainbow. Like it'd be a normal rainbow other than the Movistar blue would come in, but that might clash with the UCI's specific rules about rainbows.
Well, they do have the specific rainbow, but are you talking the B World Championship jersey that was around for a couple of years, like where it's like a blue field with just the rainbow stripes?
Oh, no. I was just thinking the whole kit would just be one large rainbow.
Okay. Interesting.
But I like the kit. I think the kit looks really good the way it is. I
thought it looked pretty.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty sharp with the baby blue Movistar instead of like it would have been. It would not have looked good if it was that Ecto Cooler Green Movistar of 2-3 years ago. So that's nice. Although I want to point something out. Did you guys see the Sagan's new kit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With what is it? The Slovenian. He's Slovenian, correct?
Slovakian, but
Slovakian.
Thing,
sorry.
right?
No, it's not. The Slovakian national championship kit. It's a little too close to the world championship kit, in my opinion.
It is pretty close. You still got the bands.
The stripes on the arms.
Yeah.
The bands on the arms are way too thick. In fact, I think someone should narc. I think someone should narc to the UCI because the bands. He's trying to steal the shine a little bit. I feel it's a little.
I think they're not too, because you get. I think you get rule states you get 3/4 an inch per win.
Aha!
In the world championship,
per win.
So that's why they're so big. They just and you've never seen that. This is a rule that came in after Frere was racing, so it wasn't something he was allowed to do. So it hasn't been an issue before, but it's deep in the rule book, Tim. I know you read the rule book really religiously. But it's in there, I swear.
Well, I'm not one to narc, but I can tell you it's pretty expensive to send a letter to Switzerland.
Yeah, that's true. I don't. Yeah, okay. Now, one thing I do kind of related about Valverde's reveal of the World Championship kit that he's rocking this year
at the charity ride.
Yeah, at the charity ride. Now, you mentioned the shorts, and I think we're all in agreement that we're glad that they're black.
Don't even mention it. I know where you're going.
I don't think you do.
I know what highway you're about to get onto, and I'm going to tell you right now that there is not an exit for you to get off of Monfrere.
No, it's related to the stripes on Sagan's kit that you were just referring to. The thin, small rainbow stripes around the bottoms of the leg bands on Valverde's shorts.
Yeah.
I feel like they harken to much like Sagan's new kit, like, oh, I've been a world champion before, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going for the oh yeah, I've been at this level before. Like he's
okay.
Like I feel like there's a little bit in there, like, you know, this probably should have been mine before now.
Okay, Spencer, I apologize. I did not think you were going there. I thought you were going to bring up the fact that he had navy blue arm warmers on today.
Well, that's a whole nother level of tragedy.
Okay, I thought that
the problem I have there is that he is the world champion, and what do you do with that? You know, like you can't say you did it wrong because he is the world champion.
Yeah, like it is what the team kit would be wearing, right?
Mhm.
The navy blue arm warmers
Mhm.
and leg warmers, and he was right next to teammates wearing the same thing. But so you think the leg bands almost are kind of like the I've been here
I
before.
think it's a very subtle move. Yeah, it's a subtle power move on Valverde's part.
Is it kind of like when Michael Rasmussen was wearing those bands because he was like the mountain bike world champion, and then
Sure.
he was racing the road, and you're like, wait, he was the road world champion? And then
Yeah.
someone would be like, well, actually, it's for mountain bikes. So it's almost like if someone's the world champion in, like the kilo.
In the
something
kilo
on the track.
or the pursuit
Like Teo
or
Boss.
artistic bike dancing or anything like that.
Ah,
You know,
cycle ball.
cycle ball.
Oh, man. I wonder if Teo Boss ever wore like a Rabobank kit with the stripes on the road.
It's possible.
Probably.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Did anybody
Okay.
ever notice Tail Boss when he's on the road?
Only that one time that he crashed
Burn.
somebody.
All right. Well, I think we talked enough about the World Championship kit. I think it looks good. I'm ready for another year of a world champion attacking races and showing well. Sagan,
I'm really glad
perfect guy to take it
that
over.
the shorts aren't the navy blue to match the arm warmers. I've been thinking about this a lot since you brought up the arm warmers, Tim, and I've come to this conclusion. I am glad that the arm warmers are not black or the shorts are not blue. They need to be different, and although it looks weird, they need to be different because otherwise it'd look like he was just wearing a t-shirt over his regular kit.
I like
that is
one.
true. And like you said earlier, he is the world champion. He can do as he pleases.
Yes.
But this still brings me to Little Guy's idea of the full rainbow kit. Whereas we know that can't happen. It would be nice if there was the vertical stripe kit coming back of a UCI World Cup, if you said.
Mhm.
Yes.
And now, Spencer, you've brought to my attention
Yes.
like possibly a maybe this World Cup jersey that I hold in such high regard and esteem, which I'm sure is going to come back soon.
Mhm.
Wink, wink.
Mhm.
And by soon I mean it's a kit I've been planning on for the last 4 years. But
It's
Spencer.
possible. It's possible because our glorious overlords at the UCI have floated the idea of a brand new. Now they didn't call it a World Cup, which is what it used to be, but they called it a UCI Classics Series, and this would be one-day races. It would be no
all right.
1 week stage races. It would be no grand tours, but it would be all the one-day classics. And they said
So the World Tour minus the boring stuff.
basically,
Yep.
Okay.
So UCI Classics Series, it is not set in stone yet. This is not a for sure thing, but the idea was floated by the UCI president to set up this series and get all the races on board. And there's obviously some logistics involved there and some negotiations and blah, blah, blah. But how cool would it be? And I think he's angling for a UCI Classic Series, a UCI 1 week series, and a UCI like Grand Tour kind of series. I would imagine would be kind of the three, like it really breaks out the three types of riders.
Yep.
But a spring classic, or not a spring classic, sorry, a classics series that goes throughout the whole year, harkening back to the World Cup and that glorious jersey that I know Tim is a huge fan of, is all aces in my book. Like, you can't go wrong.
You can't, although the UCI does need to do a little bit
will
of
go
work.
wrong, yeah.
Just telling
Yes.
everybody right now that if you Google UCI Classic Series, the first 5 or 6 hits are actually the University of California, Irvine,
Mhm.
and their classics department. So if you are into Latin and kind of like ancient Greek society, that's that. It's separate than the UCI Classic Series, which is just a thought right now.
It is.
And if you do a 1 week series, Spencer, question.
Yeah.
What determines what races are in the class? Is Trobro Leone in the Classic Series,
Well,
or is it going to be just World Cup races?
I don't know. See, they mentioned the all of the classics: Paris-Roubaix, Flanders, Milan-San Remo, Liège, Fletch, and they didn't mention the Japan Cup, which is weird, but I have to imagine that's in there. Along with,
did they mention Lombardia?
Well, I think they would
Yes.
mention Lombardia. I think they Perry Tours, all these.
Did
fall-
Tours make it?
I think
Tours
all the
made it.
fall classics were mentioned as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my next question. If the races from this weekend, Amelia and Tours made it.
I'm disappointed if Japan Cup is not in here because we're 2 weeks out,
Yeah.
and I did see Education First to go in Japan Cup. Mitch Docker just signed back up for a second year.
Excellent.
I can't think of a better way to celebrate than Mitch Docker going to Japan for the Japan Cup and reporting on the scene for us.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that
could
sounds
be
good.
Very good.
He probably wants to just take some time off at the end of the season, but no.
So is this series basically created for like Wout van Aert versus GVA in 2 years'
Right.
time? Like what's the
Well, I think what they've run
Wow.
into is the weighting of the points and everything is just there's no way to do it well to not have whoever wins the tour win the World Cup. You know what I mean? Like these Grand
that makes
Tours
sense.
like
Yeah.
weigh heavily into the World Cup standings, and they wanted to break it out, and I think that makes sense because the Grand Tours can stand on their own, even if there's not a series for them. But you don't want to pull them out of the World Cup because then they get all butthurt because that's
World Tour.
what they do. Yes, World Tours,
Yeah.
World Cup, whatever.
How
So you create a new series that is just for one day races, and therefore you can be like, well, sorry, Tour de France, like you're not a one day race. Pretty simple math there.
Do you get a leader's jersey? Like, is there going to be a jersey? Do you think? Like,
I would
I bet
hope
there'll be a
so.
Because-
jersey. Yeah.
okay, so what is the jersey? That
It'll be like the
obviously
World Cup
I want the
jersey.
rainbow.
Yeah.
But I miss the Vuelta jersey of old, the old leaders jersey of the Vuelta, the golden jersey
Okay.
before they went to red. So it's like 2006, 2007. Maybe they can bring that back. That looked sharp.
Oh,
Were you a
want
fan,
that?
Spencer?
I was not a fan.
Yeah, I was never a big
You
fan
didn't
of
like
either.
the. You didn't like the gold jersey?
You have
Nah.
an interesting
'cause-
fashion choice.
I feel like it just had to look a little. It's not classy. It looked like a certain president would like it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man,
Okay, so we have a 1 day series,
Yes.
then possibly like a 1 week, like you win Torino Adriatico, and then
we-
you could be going into these other
right?
ones.
We have a one day series that Sagan or GVA wins. We have a 1 week, potentially. We have a 1 week stage race series that
That's
Ty-
Sagan wins.
TJ Van
No,
Garderen
Richie
wins.
Port. That's got Richie Port written all over it.
Oh man, it could go anywhere. See, it's already
He
exciting.
won't go for it though, but that would be the one
Well,
thing
he's
he
a-
could win.
Yeah, he's a Grand Tour guy.
Yeah, right. That's what
And then
I've
obviously you got the Grand Tours, which everybody already spends all their marketing dollars and training efforts aiming at. And then that's why guys like Mitch Docker can go win the Japan Cup and get some fame and fortune.
Oh,
So
man.
yeah, Mitch,
How
looking
awesome would
forward
that
to that race report. Just email it to us at the slowridepodcast@gmail.com. Just share it in the Google Drive or something, and we'll get it up.
Yeah, no problem.
God, that would be awesome.
Our ranking in Australia has been plummeting in the 2 weeks since he's mentioned us. We are still doing pretty good, but we are no longer in the top 10. So I don't know if we need to do an Aussie corner this week.
I don't have
Yeah.
anything other than
I do
that,
have a-
so.
I do have a decent Aussie corner.
Okay.
It's just that last week was the AFL Grand Final, the Aussie Rules Football.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've heard about this. Little guy, you may actually find this endearing, but there's a guy that is an ex-collegiate basketball player in the United States
Okay.
at like Oklahoma, like a walk-on. He's like 6'10", and he is now the star of the AFL.
Oh, good for him.
And so he's just really big, just dwarfs everybody in the league. And he's like the American superstar of the Aussie Rules League for a team called Collingwood, whose nickname are the Magpies. So there you go. The guy's name is Mason Cox. So,
All right.
anyways, look it up. It's a great story. That's enough Aussie corner. Little guy.
Yep.
In the podcast green room, you had a wonderful idea, and that was, of course, talking about Wout van Aert, who's going through some transitions, if you will, from team to team. We know that he's signed to Yellow Lotto in 2020.
Jumbo. Lotto doesn't sponsor them anymore.
Okay, well, I'm still going to call it Yellow Lotto.
Okay.
But they're going to go to that team. That he is going to go there in 2020. Now, the Kralins team, like, he's off that team. And he's kind of rocking around an ugly kit of the World Championship kit, or at least the first 2 World Cups. My guess is that he's going to have a new sponsor any moment now for his cross season.
He does.
Yeah, he already does.
He does? Okay.
But there's a small
All
team,
right.
and it's only for the cross season. So he needs something for road.
Okay. He needs something for road. And your idea was we should come up each with a team that he should go to for a 1-year rental.
Yeah.
Like, where should he go to have the most fun?
Yeah.
So, little guy, why don't you introduce a little bit what you're thinking?
I just want to
what
know
we'll call Wout Corner.
Yeah.
And then we'll discuss.
Oh, I thought of a really good team, which I think it would be a 1-year crazy experiment. And I was kind of wondering what you guys could think of. I mean, we know he's going to go to Jumbo, like Tim said, so he's got a future there. They're kicking Lars Boom to the corner. They got a new cyclocross star coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a year where he seems like Jumbo doesn't have the money or something because they haven't come up and like tacked a year on. So like, what would be a weird year? What would be a fun year where he can still race the classics though and be on a team that could be a little bonkers? I've got one good idea, like one solid idea, but I want to know what team you guys think.
Okay.
Who do you want to go for? Do you want to go first? I mean, I've got an idea.
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. I think he should sign to Vanderpool's team because, and listen to this. They just applied for Pro Conti so that Vanderpool can race the classics this coming year. And rather than, I think this would be so bonkers because one, if Wout joins that team, they're in every classic. I mean, for sure. They've got 2 guys who, are going to be awesome. Those dudes seem to be buds. And we know we're going to have this great rivalry at some point, but how crazy would be that instead of having a rivalry, they had to be teammates. Like, I think they could actually be really good teammates. They would both be there at the end, and you wouldn't want to bring either of them to the line. So if one of them attacks, what are you going to do?
Right.
I think it could be bonkers and awesome.
See, I don't know. If they weren't like they're friendly, I'll give you that. I don't know if they're like hanging out with each other, like, "Hey, Matthew, how's it going? It's your boy Wout."
But it'd be 1 year.
To the club.
1 year only.
I think it's just. I think that they are mutually like respectful of each other.
Yeah.
I think it would be much better if they didn't like each other, like absolutely hated each other, and then they were forced onto the same team, and then they had like their own little like cliques within that squad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Wout's side of the bus and that's Vanderpool's side of the bus.
They might.
That would be more exciting. But okay. I mean, that's all right.
I think.
What's Vanderpool's team called, little guy?
Bailbank or something. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember.
And that's
they
why
don't.
people come to the podcast.
They don't offer
All
any financial services in my area. I must say.
So Spencer, are you ready, or do you need me to vamp for you and get mine?
This got sprung on me a little quick, but I think I've got a good idea. Wout, obviously world champion in cyclocross, well known for that. Don't really know much about him on the road. We don't know how he do. We've never seen him on the road, so he might be a little bit of a fish out of water, you might say. So you want to make him as comfortable as possible so that when he gets in these quote-unquote pelotons, he's going to feel, a little bit at home. And so what I'm thinking,
he's never had experience.
No. I don't know. We don't know how he'll react. This is like a scientific experiment. When you're combining hydrogen and peroxide, you don't know what's going to happen. Could be
he's
an explosion.
Unknown quantity.
Yes. Completely unknown. So what I'm thinking is to make the transition as natural as possible, you get him set up on a bike with, like similar to a cyclocross bike. So something maybe with a 1x drivetrain. I'm thinking he needs to sign with Team Aqua Blue who are obviously a great UCI Continental team that has been showing, really well this year, making their mark, getting some invites to some of the bigger races. They're clearly
actually a sound business plan.
Yes,
to pay the riders.
Yeah, not a Ponzi scheme. And I think that would be a great place for him to start. He wouldn't have to worry about shifting with his left hand at all, which I think would put him at home a little bit more at ease.
Would be a good way to deflect the elbows from Sagan.
Yeah, the elbow. Oh my God! Somebody needs to tell him about that elbow.
Yeah.
And the most exciting part about his road career will be: does he put world champion stripes on the sleeves of his kit?
Did he have them last year?
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I'm asking Tim. I'm not asking you because you obviously live in some sort of time warp or something. Tim, did he have them last year? I don't think he did.
I don't remember him. I don't know if the team could afford new kits that were, because I don't know if you know this about the apparel game, little guy, but when you're a world champion or if you're a past world champion, you actually need to create a whole nother order form for that person.
A whole order form.
I don't know if Vout's team was able to pull in a whole new order form. They're like, oh, these are the road kits. Like, you're a medium, try small. It's a European sizing.
Yeah, that's tough to order form.
Now, so Spencer's going with the glorious team Aqua Blue, which just, continues to just turn heads.
Yeah.
Big that I guess I'm going for a little bit different, maybe a little bit more, conservative approach. Some would say that this team just needs someone to do well in the classics, and it could be exciting because I kind of forgot they existed for a little while. And of course, I'm talking about Katusha.
Who?
And the reason why is just I haven't been excited at all about Katusha. The only thing I know about Katusha, for the most part, besides Zakarin kind of doing his thing, is that you have Tony Martin and Alex Dowsett, who are two of the top time trial
from
folks
2010.
From 2010, yeah, that's absolutely true. And then, who else do they have? Nils Pollitt.
Yeah, he's good.
Wout could come in and just absolutely crush it.
Yeah, but
kind of.
What do you think? I don't know. He could do that on any team. He needs some goofball teammates, man.
Yeah. No, but Katusha's got the brand. They're doing a lot of stuff.
They've got the money. They do have they are a powerhouse in cycling. They've got a whole bus for Wout by himself if he needs a bus.
Yeah, they got Rick Zabel too. Rick Zabel could be his bodyguard.
That's true. I am really surprised that no one's come up with the money. I know times are tight. Teams are downsizing rider numbers, but I can't believe a World Tour team hasn't poached him for one season.
How is Sky not signed him yet?
Well, they just signed Bernal to a 5-year deal. 5 years.
Record. I heard it's record money.
It's
too,
so much money, which it makes so much sense. But oh my God, 5 years? That's insane in cycling.
Well, people can hit us up at our Twitter account at the Slow Ride Pod to let us know where Wout should go for the 1-year rental. See if Aqua Blue is going to be able to fit in. Let us know anything about your thoughts on Aqua Blue. Let us know if Little Guy is correct with saying he should go be Matthew Van Der Poel's leader out man. And
wingman.
Katusha. Maybe there's another team. It baffles my mind. I'm with you, Little Guy, that Yellow Lotto here can't can't just open up the checkbook for 1 year earlier that.
Yeah,
that seems so strange to me.
It seems really weird that it's instant publicity just for the signing. You get half your money back right there, and just I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Well, so before we hit into the preem lap, I think the other news I do want to hit, because we're kind of talking classics a little bit, and these are two of the one is arguably the greatest active cyclist of her time right now, and their time of professional cyclists that's still racing right now, Marianne Vos. Peter Sagan, you're dope and everything, great job, but you still don't hold the candle to what Marianne Vos has accomplished in her career. And maybe you hold a candle, but not very close. But Marianne Vos, top-notch athlete, and a role model for all cyclists. And then Greg Van Avermaet, both signed to Triple C.
Triple C. the new team Triple C.
BM Triple C.
I wanted to call it BMCCC, but we're not going to be able to do that, you guys. News has broke recently that the BMC is going away from Team BMC, soon to be CCC, and it is being replaced by Giant.
Okay, I have a lot of questions here. First, are you guys the only ones that are having difficulty not being able to call it Triple C Polsat?
Why can't I call
I'm
it
just
that?
thinking that.
Are they getting rid of the Polsat part?
I know you're going to call it that, little guy, but it's just Triple C.
Oh, all right, sure. No, I didn't have trouble with that. Triple C.
But BMC going away from their own team? That's kind of like a Jim Akowitz, man. Follow the money, I guess, huh?
That's the end of an era.
Well, BMC didn't have money. It's not like Jim didn't want to stay and live off that BMC money for the rest of his life. I'm sure he would have been happy to.
So is BMC going out of the professional peloton the way of Felt?
I think they're going to somebody else, but I think at a much lower sponsorship rate, I would assume, than a full team.
It seems to me like BMC's entire identity is being an approach tour team. You know what I mean? Like they're pretty sweet bikes. Like they're fun. They're a little Lego looking, but I mean, they've been in the peloton for so long. Yeah. I remember opening up a World Cycling Productions catalog from like 2006, trying to figure out which DVDs I wanted Spencer to send me. Mm-hmm. And there was BMC frames in there that I was like, how does that not break?
And
one of them had a Phonak paint job, and I really, really wanted it.
Those are awesome.
And you didn't help me out, Spencer. No. But that being said, because that would be probably a felony. But my question here, though, is how do they, like, BMC just not around anymore? Like, that's got to kill the brand. Like, sure, they'll be around, but man, they got to be on a top team.
They do, and you never know, because maybe they just swap places with Sunweb. Who knows? Because Sunweb is obviously losing the Giant brand from underneath them.
Are they?
Yeah, it said
they're not going to do the specialized thing.
No, the thing I read said Giant was dropping them to go over to CCC. So Tom Dumoulin finds himself without a steed for next year at this point. Who knows what that'll be?
They'll find something.
Knowing the way things have gone traditionally in cycling, it'll be specialized, Sunweb specialized. But who knows?
Specialized going to be sponsoring half the peloton.
Yeah, it'll be like Formula One. Everybody gets the same Specialized at the beginning of the season.
It would be, that would be...
Or like the little 500.
Yeah. Or like the little 500. Yeah.
I think that would be very boring, but I don't know if I would hate that idea totally.
Well, here's my total segue into talking about two bike races that happened this weekend that neither of you guys know anything about. Saturday, Giro d'Emilia, one of my top 5 races, won by DeMarchi, who rides for BMC. Uh-huh. So, here we go.
Okay.
So, you guys will like this podium, though. DeMarchi first, BMC. Iran second, Drapac, EF, Education presented by New Balance Shoes. Third, Dylan Toons, BMC. And then right off the podium in fourth, Michael Woods, EF Drapac, presented by New Balance Shoes. I like that. I like the way they were doing that. Unfortunately, fifth place was somebody else, and they ruined the beauty of the picture on the poster pattern. But you guys will never go back and watch this, but some of you guys out there in podcast land should, because it is one of the top 5 races of the year, I said when I voted for it. And DeMarchi crushes it and goes on a 30K rampage solo in the rain in the Italian hills. It's beautiful. It was a great race. And then today was Paris Tours, which I'm sure you guys both got up early to watch because there was gravel in it this year. Multiple gravel sections, and it was a super awesome race because of it. It broke up the race super early. And Soren Anderson of Giant Sunweb, presented by Giant Sunwebs, won the race. He attacked Terpstra and this FDJ guy who I'd never seen before, and Terpstra was so mad at the FDJ guy because the FDJ guy couldn't work. So if you're like our sometimes co-host Abby out there and you're not a big Terpstra fan, just watch this for the upset Terpstra at the end in the last like 10K of the race, like swinging the arm at this dude.
Bar hitting.
And so this is the best part. So Soren Anderson goes solo, wins by 30 seconds or something, right? He soloed the last 5K. Terpstra and this FDJ guy come to the line, and the FDJ guy sits on Terpstra and then tries to outsprint him. Terpstra comes around him and then just pulls even and looks over at him like, fuck you, I can beat you anytime I want, and then just goes
just
past
like a little
him.
guy racing team ride.
Oh my God.
I like it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You can see he was so pissed. Like the last 15K
Was
of the
it
race, where he was just like yelling at this guy all the time and like swinging the arms. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff.
All right. Well, that was a pretty good little guy corner here. I may actually watch
two
the
little bits.
final bit.
No, really, the last 30K of Paris Tour is awesome. There's a ton of gravel roads, and rather than being just like a peloton of 100 dudes, it splits up into these little groups of 10, 15 dudes, echelons. Then they hit another gravel section. Then they hit the little climbs. Like the second group was like Nason, Van Mark. Like it was solid classics racing. But two dudes whose last race it was Chavanel's last race and Jeremy Roy's last race. And Chavanel, being Chavanel, got in the move, got in the main break of the day, and went out in style in the break all day. So, a little tip of the hat to Chavanel. That's it.
Yeah.
He's going to do a time trial and then he's going to be actually hang up the bike, which is kind of a sad way to go.
Wow.
I like that.
Little guy, you actually did a pretty good job there. I like how you kept it tight.
Oh, actually,
was great.
thank you for the
so
praise.
Yeah, how about we talk about how Bling Matthews did on the race.
I'm Joe Dombrowski from Cannondale Drop Pack, and you're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast.
Oh, what's that bell mean, Spencer?
Well, that means we've entered a preem lap, Tim. Now, what is a preem lap, you might say? Well, that is where we get to tell you about how this is where we. This is the part of the show where the sausage gets made.
Are we sponsored by Stutters this week? What are we sponsored by this week?
You see, the thing about it is this show gets made, but it gets made because the people,
this is where it gets edited.
The people that like the show, they come to the show to listen to the other part of the show, but not this part of the show. But they need to listen to this part of the show because this part of the show is where the sausage happens. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta look into the eyes of this.
So drink more coffee.
So drink more coffee from Grimper Brothers.
Yes. See, you got it.
Go to bit.ly/WAP beans to get your Grimper Brothers full Schleck coffee beans.
Full Schleck coffee beans. Yes, of course, that's what I'm talking about. The Wide Angle Podium Network is supported by Grimper Brothers. They made us a special blend called the Full Schleck. It's a wonderful light roast that they source. It changes up a little bit depending on what is in season as far as flavor notes and stuff. So it's always a little different experience every time you get it. But it is roasted by hand, especially for you when you order. They take your orders, gather them up over the course of the week, roast them over the weekend, send them out to you so you have fresh beans to keep you going during the week. And like Tim said, you head over to grimperbrothers.com, head over to wideanglepodium.com and click on the Grimper Brothers link, take you right over there, and get yourself some beans. Do yourself a favor. They are delicious. I was out of town this weekend, staying away from home, brought the Grimper Brothers beans with me, and had a little slice of home there out on the road, and it was wonderful.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I'm pretty excited, and I appreciate the support that Grimper Brothers gives us. You can also go to the wideanglepodium.com website, and then we have a banner link. And also, when you're at the wideanglepodium.com, check out the other shows. We're going to talk in a little bit about our friend Bill Scheiken and his show Crosshairs Radio and some of the coverage he is doing on Crosshairs Television. Can't wait to talk a little bit about that. And there's a bunch of other great shows, including Consummate Athlete, who continues to put out content on content. It's well-rounded. Also like Bike Shop CX, who basically put, the Wide Angle Podium logo on their van. and it looks pretty cool when it's at the parking lot of Jingle Cross and the Madison UCI race at the the Truck Cup. So, anyways, go to wideanglepodium.com to find out more about our family of shows.
Yeah, that is a great resource for you if you like bikes and you're bored at work. Can't be looking at websites because people can see you looking at websites, but you can put in your earbuds and learn all about cycling on these wonderful podcasts, wideanglepodium.com. One last thing that I wanted to mention before we get out of the Preem-Lap is not so much a sponsorship plug as it is another resource we have here at the Slow Ride Podcast that I don't think we mentioned enough, but we have a Slow Ride Podcast page on YouTube that we've got some videos up on that I think people might enjoy if they're bored on the trainer, things like that. We've got some goofy virtual training videos up and some other things, so check that out as well.
Absolutely. And then also you can always find us on the Facebook page that was created, the Slow Ride Podcast Super Fan Experience Zone. Just Google it. I'm sure it will come up. It's going to be fantastic. So with that, I say we get back to the show.
Hi, I'm Helen Wyman, and you're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast.
All right, guys, we are back, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. We got a couple of reviews. I don't know if I've read these, so I'm just going to pound these out real quick. Love these guys. 5 stars from the So Pro Cycling Show. You guys have great tips, advice, and rumors. Love the show. You guys have inspired me to create my own show, the So Pro Cycling Show. Keep on rocking. Well, good luck into this wonderful game of cycling-themed shows.
Yeah.
I can think of many things of advice that we can give that is great. And one of is that what you want to do is you want to take all the money that you make and you want to invest it in a high, like very aggressive fund. Like check the fees, but you want like a real nice, super aggressive emerging markets fund. You're just going to make millions.
What about
We're already
fantastic.
capitalism corner again.
How about Bitcoin, Tim? Would Bitcoin be a good thing to invest in?
Maybe Dogecoin might be a little bit better.
Okay, can we create our own like Valbearde Coin or something? How do you do that? How do you get your own coin?
This is actually a good idea.
People are doing this stuff all the time. Wait, let's get one.
I'm willing to bet that we have a listener on the pod that can help us create a Valbearde coin.
Oh, it's
I
going
think
to be
so.
Valbearde.
I think
Yeah, of course it's going to be the Valbearde.
I don't see why that wouldn't become the...
He's probably trademarked the name. You got to go Valbearde so we can make t-shirts and sell it.
well, and when we don't get sued.
Because someday I want to show up with a bunch of Valbearde coins virtually and buy a car or something.
I think all we need to do is set up a website to sell them, and people would just buy them from us. But they're virtual, so we don't actually have to send them anything. It's all.
We have to mine them though, don't we? Like you got to go down to the Valbearde mines and mine them. Or
Oh
something?
yeah. We're gonna be mining them all day long, as long as people send us their money to Slow Ride Podcast Valbearde Coin at gmail.com. Tim, go register that right now. And
I'm already on the way.
okay.
I may have read this review before, but it's so good. 5 stars. The Tour of Utah of podcasts. It's pretty dumb. You'll probably like it.
Ouch. That's
such a good review
insult and a good review at the same time.
I feel like you have read that one before, and I appreciate it just as much the second time.
So I guess that means that people need to go on their iTunes. If you're listening on your iPhone right now, help us out. Leave us a review. Just go click 5 stars. We've already had 1-star review, so it's already been done. So you're not unique if you do that. So just go ahead and
it's no longer funny.
So anyways, we do have one email that I want to get to. This one's from Michael Stone over in the UK. Hello, lads. Thanks for liking some of my tweets from the Tour of Britain, as I had a busy week last week. I've only just listened to episode 218, but if nobody else has chimed in, Spencer just about nailed it with the Jiffy Bag trademark. It is indeed a trademark for an envelope, which is basically a bag made of bubble wrap, stuffed into a paper envelope, sometimes with a cardboard stiffener, which one uses to send reasonably fragile items through the mail without the postal service totaling them. It can be used to transport vials of questionable substances, but is generally morally neutral. I think Michael may be a little bit mistaken because I think I was the one that said it was like a media mailer.
I think I nailed it, and I think you guys had no idea.
So we do know what a Jiffy bag is. Very, very exciting. They could have just said padded envelope.
Yeah.
I don't think they needed to say,
well,
like, Cycling News is not doing any favors for half of their readership, which has no clue what a Jiffy bag is.
It's a very UK thing, I feel like.
No, they could have broken it down. Maybe brackets after that. I could have said padded mailer after Jiffy bag, just so we knew.
Well, anyways, and then he ended it. We haven't read this email in a couple weeks because of Schwamigan, but he says, I know you're all busy with Schwamigan 40, so I'll keep this short. I hope the Wide Angle Podium press team will have a photographer at mile 9 so we can have solid proof of the disintegration of Little Guy's bike.
We did.
Well, we did. It was about half a mile too late, but that was probably my biggest regret, Spencer, is that we didn't take out our phone when he was taking a flat tire.
Yeah.
And then we just rode away from him. Like, we could have taken a good video of you and I just watching him change it and be like, see you later, and then go.
Missed opportunity, guys.
It's true.
Yeah, totally missed
It's
opportunity.
true.
All right, let's get into new team news. First off, One Pro Cycling. They went out. Like, I'm kind of mad about this. Like, oh man, we're going to start a women's team. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. And everyone's like, woo, man, this is awesome. This is a way to spend good money. And then
they don't have any good money.
Almost
they don't have any good money.
They don't have any money.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, I definitely brought it up on this podcast when they made that announcement a few months ago. I was excited for it. I think a lot of people were. They were transitioning from a men's team to a women's only team. And, they got a bunch of hype around that, and they got a bunch of, social media and column inches written about them, which I'm sure was the point. Unfortunately, I think the point on their side of it was to drum up interest and gain a sponsor, where all of us just thought it was goodwill, and that part had already been taken care of. Turns out, not the case, and they are folding. Yeah. There is no women's team, and RIP to that whole program.
Although they are saying it might come back in 2020. Right? Like, how often do we hear, like, the team is going to be there the next year? We're going to put the race back. So every now and then it does happen, because we do know that the Nature Valley Grand Prix appears to be coming back after a 1 year hiatus.
Right? That is awesome.
So every now and then it does come back. But and then the other big news is Floyd Landis taking that money that he got from the Lance settlement. Mm-hmm. So he won $1.1 million. And then after lawyers' fees, he had about $750,000 left. And he is shipping that north of the border to Gord Fraser and the team at Silber Cycling, basically taking over that Pro Conti license for domestic or U.S. Conti license. And Floyd's of Lentville will be the title and appears only sponsor of a development pro cycling team.
Yes. Good.
A couple of questions here.
Sure.
Now, I've seen Floyd's of Leadville jerseys rolling around, awfully close to the World Championship stripes. I don't know if they're going to have to change the color scheme. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm pretty stoked on this. I think this is a pretty good use of the money.
You say you're stoked and toked?
Wow,
it's pretty good.
Good work, little guy.
Nice.
That was nice. I just hope that the team can last a while. Like, this is kind of like taking $750,000 and going to the roulette wheel and putting it all on red. Like, oh, you have a 48% chance that this could work. But how many times have we seen professional cycling teams completely fold because they're money losing endeavors?
Right. Yeah. How much does a Conti team cost a year? So how much is that? That's going to buy us 1 year. Is that going to buy us 2 years?
I think it's going to buy you 1 year because or maybe 2 years if you stretch it really thin. I remember
they've got all the stuff already.
That Toyota United was $1 million a year to run as a team.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good
So-
bang for your buck, really, probably marketing wise.
Well, so $750,000 in 1 year for marketing for a company that makes CBO oil extract.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little.
So
Yeah,
here's
I
the
know.
thing. I don't think they're going the Toyota United route, which for a lot of people who probably have no idea what that flash in the pan team even was. But you seem to bring up somehow every week on this
We
podcast.
picked him up a lot.
It's the new Hincappy.
I don't know that they're going to blow all their money on big Toyota trucks and like bad kits that they're going to try to sell retail and whatever models to.
They had the
hang
bikes.
out
They sold
as
the bikes, dude.
be
Yeah.
quote unquote souvenirs and stuff.
They're like old school aqua blue.
Yeah, kind of. It lasted just about as long. But I think 750K can get you quite a ways as a developmental team, as a U23 team, as a racing domestic only team. If you do it right, and taking over this Canadian team for Floyd seems a little weird. Like, why wouldn't you be a U.S. team? But
Well, weed is legal in Canada at this point, right?
they're voting on it very soon, actually, Tim. Very soon. So it's an interesting marketing ploy that he's got going on over there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because the structure of that team's in place. So it's not, he doesn't have to start a new team from the ground up. He just has to basically give Gord the money and have him work out the details.
I'm stoked for it. And I appreciate his goodwill to like he said in the interviews, to provide some closure to like the whole ordeal and like provide opportunities for developmental riders.
Right. It is
I mean,
definitely.
look, if I won Powerball, I'd build a new velodrome. I would never see the money ever again, but
Yeah.
I'd build the velodrome. I would buy a barge so we could go up and down the Mississippi River
Right, yeah.
together.
Yeah.
We've talked
I'm
about
not
this
gonna do
before.
that with
many
you.
times.
And like those are definitely money losing ventures.
Uh-huh.
But
I mean, but what would you buy with that money, Tim? That would be a stick in the eye to the guy that tried to ruin your whole life. That's the question that I have, because
I would buy his old team, right? Like I would call up Axel Merckx and be like, "Hey, Axel, ditch the zero, get with the hero, and let's have our new team."
That's almost what he did. This is a I'm sorry, are you banned from cycling for life? I'm going to start a team.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
It's are you banned from cycling for life? I'm going to use your money to start this team. Like, there's a little bit of that there, like, for sure. And I'm here for it. You guys.
I love this kind of
It's
drama.
all
This
for
is-
the
this
good
is
of
the good
cycling.
stuff.
Yeah, like, there's no real downside to this. Like, love them, hate them, whatever. Like, it's a new team. Young pros get jobs,
So-
and everybody wins.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's we mentioned it a little bit in the preem lap. Bill's Crosshairs Radio and Crosshairs Television.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that the Charm City cyclocross flyover that Bill had like drone coverage and footage of.
Mhm.
This is the most impressive flyover I've ever seen, and they didn't even go underneath the flyover.
They only
Like-
flew over.
They only climbed over. Like
It's just
the thing is 3 stories high.
Really?
Little guy.
That's really
3
high.
stories high.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, and it is long. It is, this is a structure.
Yeah. Is it built out of scaffolding like all the Euro races
It is.
that have the
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
scaffolding ones? Okay. Is it anything near the Belgian National Championships from 2-3 years ago, the one that went over the freeway? Or is this just, it's not quite that, probably?
It's basically the same.
Okay. Well, that's impressive.
It's maybe not that big. That one was pretty
I think
monstrous.
I
This
think
one
it's
is
twice
huge.
as big as that one was.
That was
Yeah.
that was like 3 city blocks. But yeah. All right. I'll check it
This
out.
one's about six city blocks.
They basically did
The
it
whole
the right
race
way.
is on
They
there.
they did it right way because they called up a scaffolding sponsor.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you don't even need to give us money. Just do stuff that you do anyway. That's awesome.
Yeah.
and this thing is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And
You make it sound like on a Saturday, the scaffolding guys usually just show up to a park and build a giant structure. Like they're like, "Shoot, we were doing this anyway. We didn't know if we brought a little tape. Bike race would show up too."
Yeah, I think you're onto something, little guy. I think that all the scaffolding guys wanted to do that forever, and never were able to.
Like, I'm so sick of just going up next to a building.
One day the phone rings and it's that call. It's like, hey,
they're like,
bring all your stuff. Build us a big weird thing in the middle of the park.
True. I mean, often
bring all your
do
stuff.
Fun things, yeah.
Bring all your stuff and all of those pieces that you never are able to use because you're only used to building scaffolding 20 stories high that's only like a meter wide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bring all the special stuff from your erector set, and they get it done. Check it out. Crosshairs Radio, Crosshairs Television. It's amazing. It's on the Crosshairs Instagram as well. So it's something you'd want to see.
Yep.
Spencer, you had brought something to my mind on the Slack channel, and I had no clue what you were talking about, but I have been going to Amazon and just pressing F5 every single time because I'm just searching for a Peter Sagan book. And that's all your note said. All you said was Sagan's book.
Yep.
And I've just been searching like crazy for it, and I can't find it.
Well, it's out in Europe now, and he's touring around, on his promo tour for it. It will be released in English. It will be here eventually. I don't know when, but there's been some excellent Peter Sagan, stories coming out about this book.
What's it about? A biography?
It is. It's a biography. There's a story that they're using for promo about Paris-Roubaix and him being at a break with Delia and some other guy who I can't remember who got dropped. The Belgian kid from Red Lotto, I think.
Yeah. I think so.
Maybe I can't remember his name. Anyway, but Sagan's stem came loose, as we all famously remember. And before the team car got there with the 5mm to help him out, he tried to straighten it himself by smashing his own front wheel into the rear wheel of this Belgian rider while they were riding.
Like he went up behind him to do like the old like.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh wow!
He won't fall down because it's his rear wheel. It's my front wheel, but I know it's about to happen, so I won't fall down. And hopefully, if I hit it with enough force, I can joint my bars straight again because they were askew.
Okay, did that work?
So he rammed, basically runs into this kid's back wheel, and I guess the kid was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Sagan's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just really tired." And it didn't work.
Yeah.
So then a few hundred meters later, he tried it again 3 times in a row. And I guess the kid just swearing at him and called him an idiot and like all this stuff. And he was like, oh, sorry. Still didn't work.
Yeah.
Race within a race. Some of the stories you don't get to hear. I am super pumped for this book to come out in.
This is already better than the Thomas Dekker book, and I thought that was
or a Life According to G or whatever.
That's a classic.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this one. Stories like that in there. The excerpt I read, he referred to himself as an idiot before that kid called him an idiot, but it's not too often you get to call the world champion an idiot legitimately. So,
well, I can't believe he just announced that to the world in his book because now he's gonna just get DQ'd retroactively because the UCI is so into rules.
What's great is that that kid had no idea what he was doing and didn't know until the story came out. Now he's like, oh, that's what he was doing? I remember that. Yeah. What an idiot. So pretty great stuff.
Well, that's a great story. That's a great way, I think, to end the pod this week. I would like to thank all of the listeners of the Wide Angle Podium Network. I'd like to thank Grimper Brothers Coffee. Go to bit.ly/WAP Beans to order up some full schleck for yourself. I'd like to thank BK1 of Rhymesters Entertainment for the track Radio du Cannibal off the album Tema du Cannibal. And most of all, this is Tim in Orlando, Florida.
Second most of all, this is Matt in Minneapolis.
And least of all, this is Spencer in Boston, reminding you to always wave at all your fellow cyclists that you see out on the road.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at The Slow Ride Pod.
Little guy, no one's gonna tell that you spilled all your beer and your water all over the floor.
Just
This is
water.
totally cool.
Just water.
This is all gonna get edited out in post.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention was the do you guys see that De Gent and Tim Wellens are going to ride back to Belgium from Lombardy next week? They're going to
Yeah.
go bike touring together. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen?
I mean, yeah, if you want to steal the thunder from Larry Warbass and Connor Dunn, and Team Aqua
I do.
Blue, one of the best
I do.
teams.
Wait, so they're not supposed? So they're not allowed to do
Nope, it's been done.
it? So
Yeah.
I guess we should have never started our podcast.
Eh.
Wait, there's other podcasts? Well,
Not about
no,
cycling.
I know those other guys did, but I still thought it was really adorable. And in De Gent, it's like De Gent had what, like 1 million racing days this year, and he's in the break every day. He just can't stop.
Yeah.
How could he have 1 million racing days when there's only 365 days in a year?
Oh.
Oh shit! You caught me in a lie.